Have you ever watched a movie and thought, wait, did I miss a whole other movie in the middle? Like if it would be a sequel, but you have no idea that there is a first part in the first place. Now imagine this. You go to the cinema because you think you're getting a big new sequel of a very known Hollywood movie. Same title, same vibe, maybe even a similar poster. But when the film starts, something feels wrong. The actors are different. The story is also different. Sometimes even the genre is different. Welcome to the world of Italians' fake sequels. This is the story of one of the strangest little scams in movie history. But it's also one of the most brilliant. Back in the 70s and 80s, American movies were blowing up all over the world. Things like Jaw, Alien or Dawn of the Dead made tons of movies and were watched by millions of people. And in Italy, some producer thought, okay, we can't buy the rights, but what if we pretend? And that's exactly what they did. If a movie like Dawn of the Dead was popular, they made their own version called, for example, Zombie 2. But Zombie 2 was not actual a sequel of Dawn of the Dead. Way different actors, way different story, way different characters. And funnily enough, sometimes the sequels came out before the actual movie hit Italy. So if you were a regular person, you were just assuming, oh nice, they already made a part 2 of this kind of movie. When in reality, they were watching something very much unofficial. You might ask, why were people falling for this? In the end, it was the title. At that time, movie titles were often changed from country to country. Copyright rules were looser and information traveled way slower than nowadays with the internet. Italian producer used this for their own advantage. They knew if the title would sound similar, people would fall for it. Even though they didn't have bad intentions about it, they just wanted to make a living or a ton of money. In the end, it didn't really matter if the story connected to the original. What mattered was this quick moment of recognition. You might now think these were just rip-offs, boring movies shot very badly. But this is where it becomes interesting. Some of them were wild, real, and even more memorable as the original ones. Let's get back to Zombie 2. This was for real a movie shot by Lucio Fulci. It has nothing to do with George Romero's zombie movies, but it became a cult classic. Most memorable is the shark scene, where a zombie fights an actual shark. It's insane and you will never forget it. The same thing happened with Alien. After Ridley Scott's movie became so popular, Italian producers released their own version, which was called Alien 2 on Earth. No link to the original Alien 1. But if you saw that movie title, you would always think, I watched Alien, let's watch this one. So were these movies scams? Short answer, kind of. They used intentionally names and numbers to trick people into watching a follow-up of the original movie. But at the same time, these were also chances for some Italian movie makers to take an idea of someone else and twist it with their own style. And honestly, if you watch these movies, some of them are pretty good. Looking at films of the past decades, there were always remixes and references. And here it's kind of an unofficial or remix of someone else. And I think the important thing to mention here is this filmmaker honestly wanted to make a great movie most of the time. And therefore, this is what makes Italian fake sequels quite interesting to watch also today. They sit right between art and trickery, marketing and creativity. They show that cinema is not just about stories on the screen, but also about the whole financial aspect. Posters, titles, advertisement, everything that needs to be done to sell a movie to us so we actually buy a ticket and watch it. If someone tried this today, they will probably get shot down quite fast. Copyright laws are stricter. Fans can Google everything and most of the time you already know the movie, what happens and also what the important things are before it's even released. But in these older times, it was much more easy to actually break the rules without someone really knowing it. As you saw, it was just as easy as taking a famous movie title, just put in the number 2 and you already grabbed quite a lot of viewers.